my name is Shakti Sunfire. I'm here with Jaguar Mary for Sacred Circularities at Hoop Camp. And it's a beautiful sunny day, and we're here exploring some different ways that we can be invited to participate in the hoop for this coming retreat. This year, 2012 at Sacred Circularities, the theme is the Year of Expansion, which is really exciting for me because there's a specific principle in Tantra, which is a philosophy, a view, a way of looking at the world that I imbibe and that I bring into my dance. And that theory has to do with expansion. But it also says that for every expansion, the prerequisite is a contraction. So the contraction brings us into these states of expansion. So you start to see that there's a pulsation, there's a vibration, there's a rhythm that is intrinsic to the universe, that is intrinsic to all things and all life forms. And this theory is called spanda. Now, one way we can think about spanda is that it's this relationship, that all things in the world have a direct opposite that they're in relationship with. And it's through relationship that evolution occurs. It's through the pulse of existence that we can move into greater states of knowing ourselves and then expressing that deep knowing. The way that we can approach it in, like, philosophically speaking, in terms of dance philosophy, is to start to recognize the spectrum of movement that we have. So if dance is the invitation to express our internal world and make it external, then the trick and the technique and the view will help us to, it's like the vocabulary that'll help us tell our stories. So we can look at it inside the hoop as, you know, what's the biggest movement you can make with your hoop, and then what's the smallest movement you can possibly make. How big can you be and how small can you be? And then you can start to fill in the in-between. Well, where am I hanging out? Am I always just standing? Am I always kind of doing the same thing? Is the pacing always the same? What's the fastest you can, how fast can you move? And how slow can you move? And are you working the entire spectrum of movement to more skillfully tell the stories in life? This is spanda. This is the relationship. So one trick that I'd like to share with you that helps me to really think about this is just a front body roll. I just call it a front body roll. And it looks like this, and then I'll break it down. So this is the movement. So the hoop, we come into a state of contraction, right, for further and greater expansion, for the year of expansion. So first we have to be aware that a lot of this is illusion. A lot of this is you know, just embellishment of the action. So do I actually have to crouch down and curl in to make the trick work? No, but we want to work within that spectrum. How contracted can I be? How full and expanded can I be? So we can break this down in steps. I start on the side plane of the body going forwards in the hand. So I just come into the rhythm of that movement. Now, the first step is just to get used to changing directions under the elbow. So I'm going to send the hoop down, my elbow comes out, and I tap it underneath close to my armpit, and that'll send the hoop in the opposite direction. So now you see I'm going in reverse. So that's step one to build. So I start going forwards, I change direction under the elbow, and then I'm sending the hoop back in reverse. Now, to do the body roll, the trajectory is up and over the side, in between my neck and my extended arm. So you can practice just what would it feel like to let the hoop roll up the body. You can kind of play with that pathway, and then we can start to put it together. So as soon as I change directions under the elbow, I'm sending the hoop up and over, pinky side out. So here we go. Change directions under the elbow and send the hoop up, pinky side lead, over the shoulder, into the extended arm. Now, to really finish it off, if you have a hard time, you know, ending there, you can turn 180 degrees towards your extended arm to come out of it really smoothly. And I'll show you how that looks. Change directions, send it up and over, and I change 180 degrees to be facing the other side. For many of us, when we do moves that are challenging for us, especially when there are parts of the hoop that touch our body in full surrender or flying at our face, as in this example, we encounter moments of fear. And in Tantric philosophy, the idea is that everything in existence is this flow of spirit. Everything has a rhythm. And true with the hoop, that's one way that we can really viscerally experience this rhythm, is especially when we start, we just close our eyes, come into the breath, slow it down, and let it be this gentle pulsation. Just feel into the flow that's already there with us. Now, once you feel like you've grounded and settled a little bit into that, a lot of times what fear can do when we have it is it creates tension and tightening in the body. And it's like a rock in the middle of a stream, right? Because the stream is moving along. If a rock is there in the center, then it's diverting the water in a way that creates splashes. And we don't want that. We want smooth. So to tune into the rhythms that are already present and to release a little bit of the part of ourself that's the doer, that needs to be in control, because a lot of these tricks require a great deal of surrender. So we find that pulsation, we find that rhythm that's already there, we come into our breath, and then the challenge and the trick is to see how slow you can possibly execute something. See how slowly and how little efforting and the littlest amount of movement possible to actually execute the trick. So I'm going to do it now way slower, coming into the pulse, changing underneath the arm, and then see how slow you can actually go to let the hoop release up and over. So it already has its own rhythm and its own physics, and so we're just kind of stepping into the currents of spirit in the hoop, and that'll help disintegrate and dissolve a little bit of our fear around it. So I'm so excited to be going to Bali for my first time next year with Sacred Circularities. It's a total honor, and it's been a dream of mine for a long time to go to Bali. It's full of temples, beautiful jungles, incredible people, and I just keep hearing such elevated things that I'm totally thrilled. So I really, really hope I can share that experience with you there.